Hey, how's it going guys? This is Fuad and welcome to the first RC build video in my channel. In this video, I'll try to make an RC airboat. For the body, I have this styrofoam board. Other people can call this Dupron foam. I'm gonna use this material because it's pretty light, it's pretty durable, and I think it's gonna work really well with my model. Now I've cut out 6 identical pieces of styrofoam. They measure 6 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Now from this 6, I'm gonna take away 4. And I'm going to use my pencil and draw a curve shape around. After you draw the curve, you want to use your X-Acto knife and cut it around the curve. Now you want to repeat this design to your other pieces. Just to make all the pieces more accurate, I'm going to use my sandpaper and kind of sand around this front curve so that they all kind of have the similar structure. Now take one of your curved pieces and one of your rectangular pieces. You want to use your hot glue and apply some onto the edge of the curved piece. I'm going to use one of my scrap pieces to get rid of the excess hot glue. Now from the inside, I'm going to apply some more for further more stability. I ended up with something that looks like this. I had to turn on my light, that's why the lighting is a bit different, sorry for that. We're going to add the base for these 2 pieces. So I'm going to take this large rectangular piece, and the idea is that we're going to curl this piece of styrofoam, making sure it doesn't break from the other side. And we're going to stick it like this. I'm going to put some more hot glue onto the edge of the styrofoam just to make sure the water can no way come in. Now we're going to stick a little piece of styrofoam to cover this hollow tube. So with that, you are done with these 2 parts of your boat model. For the base body, I have a 25 centimeters by 15 centimeters rectangular shape. Also some other cutouts. These are similar cutouts like the previous ones. It's 6 centimeters by 25 centimeters with a little curve cut on the top. Now the idea is the same. We're going to stick both the pieces like that. I'm gonna make 2 rough markings. And popsicle sticks are gonna get inside these. So I'm gonna use my X-Acto knife and make the holes. Repeat this on the other side. From the back angle, you want to make sure the popsicle sticks are well parallel to each other. Once you stick your popsicle sticks to your boat body, you want to flip it over, and using your tool, you just want to get rid of the excess portions. Once you chop off the excess bits, you want to take a rectangular piece of Dipron foam and cover it to the back of your airboat. Now without the rudder, you're pretty much done with your body. Now for these electronics, you can hot glue them on top of the foam, but just to keep it more safer, I'm gonna use this plastic container. This may be laying out in your house somewhere. So it's a pretty cheap plastic openable container, so I'm gonna use this box and keep my battery, ESC, and the receiver inside. Now you want to use your X-Acto knife and cut it out. For my motor stand, I have 4 rectangular pieces of foam. They're gonna stick on top of the boat like that. Once you stick the stands to the motor, you want to make sure you use enough hot glue around them to make sure they all stick really well with each other. Now I'm going to get my motor wires and take them to the other side. And I'm going to stick a little piece of styrofoam just to keep the motor wires in place. Just like that, I'm going to keep adding more styrofoam pieces just for better reinforcement. So this is how my motor stand looks like. Now it's time to install this onto the airboat. So I've just made a rough mark just to know where the middle is. And it's gonna sit somewhere right there. And using my ruler, I'm just gonna verify if both the sides have equal distance. So here you can see I've made some rough marks. And the idea is that I'm gonna cut this slot. And I'm gonna push this motor stand inside the slot. And I'm gonna glue it from the upper part, also from the underneath. And this way I think that the motor stand is gonna be even more stable. Because this motor stand is pretty heavy, that's why it has to have a really good structure. Okay, my stand is ready, but I can see that it's wiggling a bit. Now if my propeller's thrusting forward, and it's gonna get pushed back, so I can see that it's not gonna be really durable. So I'm gonna put something for support. I have this little piece of styrofoam, and it's just gonna sit like that, and hopefully it's gonna be, you know, more durable. Now for this step, I'm going to show you how to put all these electronics inside this empty box. Now the servo is going to be outside the box so that it can control the rudder. But the idea is that the ESC, the battery, and the receiver is going to stay inside and stay secured. So this can get a bit tricky at times when especially when you're a beginner. But yeah, you'll get the hold of it soon. So I'm going to make some holes here. So I have my solder iron ready. And I'm just going to make some holes just large enough for my ESC wires to go through. This much should be enough. Now it's time to slot all my ESC wires through that hole. Now I'm gonna use this double-sided foam tape. Stick it to my ESC. And stick it to the container. This should be good enough. Now let's see how my battery sticks. I'm gonna place it like that. As you can see, it's pretty nicely fit. And the receiver is gonna sit somewhere there. So I'm gonna use another foam tape. Now this antenna has to come out from the box. So I'm just gonna take it out. And I'm gonna make a little hole. Just big enough for my wires to go through. And there you go. Now I'm not gonna stick my battery to the container because I will have to recharge the battery over and over again. So it's just gonna stay there and hopefully it's not gonna wiggle too much. So that's how you install all the electronics inside the box. Now I'm gonna place my servo somewhere over there. I'm just gonna use my pencil and make a rough sketch of where the servo should be placed. Now for my servo wire, I'm gonna make another hole and I'm gonna pass this wire through the hole. And it's gonna come out from the other side. And this is gonna connect to my channel 1. Because for my receiver, channel 1 is the rudder. And I'm gonna connect this ESC wire to channel 3. So now all my electronics are in place. I'm gonna connect my ESC wires to my brushless motor. And I have my transmitter. I'm gonna turn it on. Now let's check how all these electronics work. As you can see, the servos are also working. Now I'm gonna make the rudder. Now it's time to connect our control horns. With your servo, you're gonna get these types of control horns. These are just going to catch the servo's push rods, I guess you would call them. So I've made a little pencil mark there. Using my X-Acto knife, I'm gonna make the cut. Now I can pass this inside the hole. And as it comes out from the other side, I'm gonna use this piece to make sure it's locked in place. Now you wanna take your supplier and you want to kind of bend the little end of the push rod. You wanna have a shape like that. And now this can easily slot inside the hole from my servo, and the other side is going to connect to the rudder. You want to also do the same on the other side as well. So the push rods are set. Now I can connect the control horns back to the rudder. Just to stick them better in place, I'm going to use some hot glue around the control horns so that they don't move around. So guys, now it's time for me to hot glue this container in place. Now this antenna is just randomly sticking out, so I'm going to use some tape and stick the antenna to the body of the airboat. Now remember this base that we have previously made? You want to get your airboat and stick the base to it. So guys, we're pretty much done with this model. As you can see that the base body is complete. So I just kept these pieces beside, and I'm just gonna make sure they're parallel to each other. And I'm gonna make some pencil marks where the popsicle sticks are going to go through. And using my X-Acto knife, I'm carefully gonna make a hole. There you go, it fits nicely. So now I'm just gonna make sure that the body and this piece, they're parallel. And once they are so, I'm gonna use my hot glue and secure them in place. So guys, once you're done sticking both the pieces to your airboat body, you're gonna end up with something that looks like this. Now I'm gonna use these foam pieces, and they're gonna sit on top of these popsicle sticks. So guys, this is how the final product looks like. After I add the battery, I'm gonna close the lid. But I think there's a little problem. This rudder may just be too small to control the direction of this whole big model. So one good thing that I thought about, if there's another servo from here, and I'm gonna have two rudders, so I can control two rudders at the same time. There's one more thing I'd like to point out. There's hot glue in every single edge of the RC airboat, and I don't think this is a good way to block the water from coming in, so maybe I'll need to cover the whole model with some scotch tape. So as you can see, I've installed my second servo on my RC airboat, and unfortunately, I had to dissect the base. So if you guys are making one, be sure to already connect two servos before you add the base. So guys, as you can see, I have this larger piece of foam, and that's gonna be my big rudder. And I will not use my tape for the direction control, because the tape, it's gonna go underwater. I know it's gonna go underwater because it's pretty longer, and if it goes underwater and the tape, it's gonna get wet and the tape's not gonna get sticky anymore. So I just have another little plan. So I've made this little line, and I just want to slightly cut through it. making sure I do not cut all the way. As you can see, I can crack this thing and it doesn't crack from the other side. That's what you want. Now you want to diagonally cut this way so that you do not have this sharp edge. And as you can see, I have the bend cuts on both sides, and this thing can bend quite a lot, and this is pretty much enough. And there you go, you don't need to use any more tape. So just like this, you want to have two rudders to control the direction for your airboat. So guys, I've made both the rudders, which are stuck to both of my servos, using push rods. Now I hope this boat can have better direction control. Now the question is, how do you control these two rudders using one control stick from your transmitter? Well, both of these servos are connected to channel 1 and 2 from my Flysky receiver, and the third channel is basically the ESC wire. So now I'm going to show you how you can set up your Flysky transmitter in such a way so that you can kind of, control both of these servos together. Now you want to go to your setup menu, and you want to go all the way down to Elevon, press OK. Now you want to turn this on, so press up, and now this is on. Now both channel 1 and 2 are going to work together with this rudder control. So now you might have a question. How can I make this servo, bend more? I'm seeing that the servo is only, kind of controlling less. I need it to bend more. To do that, you want to go down to channel 1 and you want to get it to maybe 60%. You want to do the same for channel 2. And now with this, it's going to slightly move a bit more. So if you want to make it even more, you can increase this percentage. And you just want to press hold cancel. And there you go. This is functioning. So guys, as you can see, I've wrapped the whole model with some thin layers of scotch tape, and this does look pretty good. But I agree, it was looking better before. But just for the sake of water to not get injected inside, well, I've excluded wrapping around the motor stand and the rudder. Now as you can see, like the whole model, from the back, the base, everything, it's wrapped with tape. And the corners, I've made sure I use some hot glue to secure those untidy corners so that water can no way come in. My model's pretty much done. Let's go ahead and check it out. So guys, here I'm out in this beautiful lake. I have not tried this out yet, so this is gonna be my first attempt. As you can see, I have my two big rudders, and hopefully these two big rudders will be enough to control the direction for this airboat. Let's give it a try. As you can see, if I try to kind of increase the speed of it, the front part of the boat kind of wanna sink inside, and if I try to apply more pressure, the boat's gonna sink down, and that's something bad. So I cannot exceed the speed more than that. Okay, as you can see, the speed is not really high, but the rudders seem to be working really nice and efficiently, and I'll take this as a pretty good success as my very first RC airboat, and hopefully I will be able to improve and come up with better projects. Until then, you guys stay tuned and I'll see you next time.